What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Daniel the Miracle Man Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs has missed the agreed upon weight of 170 pounds. He couldn't exceed past 170 after making weight for 160, which was kind of stupid anyway. It's some A-side sleazeball bullshit, if you ask me, simply because it's just another countermeasure to make sure that the fighter starts. That's the only reason I would have for that, because they know Danny is a big guy, and they probably took into consideration from the last fight that he was in, the last big fight was with Golovkin, and he lost the ability to fight for the WBO because the WBO had a rematch clause, had a rehydration clause, and he exceeded that. So he couldn't win that belt anyway, even if he would have beat Golovkin. But I still think, due to the fact that he's going to be fine, the rumor is 250,000 per pound over, which it is what it is. That hasn't been certified or verified, okay? Because Eddie Hearn didn't really want to talk about it. That's why it wasn't. It might have been that dollar amount, but needless to say, this just shows you that Danny Jacobs never goes into a fight thinking about money first. He's thinking about legacy first and money second. If he woke up naturally at this amount of pounds over, why would he try to starch himself to lose 3 pounds to save that penalty? You know, because that penalty was set in place to deter him in some sort of way, to make him more starched. If you've seen Danny Jacobs yesterday at the face-off, he looked drained, okay? He looked pissed off. You know, a person without carbs is a very pissed off individual. Ask me, I'm one of them, because I've lost weight like that, and it does affect your attitude, okay? I think it's no problem. I think that it was the right thing to do, honestly. I think that I would rather come in heavier at a comfortable weight naturally, okay? I don't think it was intentional for him to, okay, I'm gonna come in at 173. But guess what, guys? Me counterpunching this, even if Daniel Jacobs would have came in intentionally at 173 or 175, it doesn't matter, because that's where his comfort zone was. It would have gave him an edge. So, and then of course, if he would have said, no, I'm not gonna do it, he wouldn't have got the fight with Canelo. You know, because Canelo's the A side, and then you have to agree to certain things like this. Now, if anybody thinks that this isn't a diva term, it is, because no sanctioning body ordered this. This was a personal thing set in the contract by Canelo Alvarez or his team to make sure Danny Jacobs comes in at a certain weight. You know what I mean? So yeah, he bit the bullet. He's going to pay the fine, but he comes in the way he's supposed to be naturally. So it's a good thing for me at the end of the day. If he beats Canelo, it doesn't matter anyway, because he's going to have to fight him. And that 250,000 times 3 or 4 doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Or wouldn't mean it, you know, you won't be worried about that penalty because you've just beat that guy. And I don't really want to hear, oh, he was much bigger, because there's no sanctioning body ordering this type of demand. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to ask yourself, why was that type of demand put into place in the first place? Like, if you can't beat a guy at his natural weight, he made weight, that's the only thing you need to be worrying about. It doesn't matter if he came up to 180, it doesn't matter. Why would you have a rehydration clause? You know what I mean? I know fighters do that, and they do that for certain edges in the fight, you know, because that amount of water weight, water retention that you need, that you're trying to sweat out to lose weight, tires you in the fight. It's going to affect you in the fight. Well, in this case, it won't affect Danny, because Danny woke up feeling good. He woke up rehydrated, you know, and why would you want to even put yourself in that type of danger anyway? You know what I'm saying? Because that's dangerous, trying to lose weight. You could have a stroke because you're going against nature. You never go against nature. You go with nature. And Danny Jacobs decided to go with nature, and naturally he'll be ready to kick some ass tonight. So, you know, that's my take on it. It was a good strategy, because it's like, okay, if we come in over 170 pounds, who cares? We'll just pay the fine, but we're going to fight. So they didn't let that mentally bother them. You know what I mean? So If anything, it helps Danny. You know, so it's a good tactic. Pay the fine, right? You know, but that shouldn't stop him from because see if he lost the weight and he looked anything like he looked last night, you know, that could come off as an excuse if he loses. You see what I'm saying? Like people like to put things into play, especially when something was against them, especially when they lose. When they lose, you know, oh well, you know, I had to lose this weight and they had this silly ass weight stipulation where I had to stay under this, you know, amount, and my body doesn't naturally do that, so I didn't want to get fined, so I lost the weight, so that made me weaker, that made me more starched. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that he decided to do what he decided to do. The fight is still on, so no big deal. You guys tell me what you think about Danny Jacobs going over. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.